Welcome, you guys. This is the Family Cash Machine, the greatest team in North America, and we are soon to be all over the country. All over the world. I wanted to welcome Raphael, a good friend of mine that we spoke to earlier today out of the Dominican Republic. Welcome to the team, and you're in for the ride of your life. That's all I can say. And this educational, empowering network that we've created called the Family Cash Machine. Now, I wanted him to go to the Family Cash Machine, sign up for free, and I wanted him to start learning about not just cryptocurrency, but currency in general. So where were we? I don't want to, got my Lakers shirt on. So, hey, this is what's going on today. Today, I see that cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, is kind of getting whooped up a little bit. And we talked about it yesterday. We actually talked about why the industry and the market is down. And I got a great idea thinking about it for our next book, ebook, or whatever. The first ebook we did here in the Family Cash Machine was called The Greatest Exchange of Wealth. And it talks about disruption. It talks about how wealth is exchanging hands. Wealth is never destroyed. It only transfers hands. So one of the things that we teach in the cryptocurrency colleges presented by the Family Cash Machine is we teach about money. We teach about what is money, the history of money, what is the difference between currency and money. These are subjects that should be the first thing that you learn in school. This should be the first thing that you learn in school. Not only what is your purpose in life, but what is money? Okay? People don't ask these simple questions, and they just assume that money is something that will always have value and that I can use at any time to purchase whatever at any time. It's going to always have money. It's going to always have value because the government is going to make sure it has value. And this is just an assumption. Every object that has value is based on supply and demand. It is supply and demand that gives objects value. When it comes to fiat currency, they call it fiat. The word fiat is there because it kind of means it is what it is. Like it kind of means like so be it, pretty much. And when you took the gold reserve or the gold, the reserve of gold, and took the fiat off of the gold, then it became fiat. It became something you just print that has nothing back in it. That's what fiat currency means. If fiat means it has nothing back in it, it's just paper. Okay, and this has been examined all around the world throughout history. Countries printing money and printing and printing and printing and printing until that particular currency has no value. And I'm not going to say no value because it may take 100,000 Zimbabwe dollars to buy one loaf of bread. So it has value. It just doesn't have a sufficient amount of value, and it's no more portable. It's not portable anymore. So it's like it lost its portability. So I mean, if you got to take $100,000 in a wheelbarrow to get, just a loaf of bread, just imagine how much cash you need to go and buy groceries. You need what, a billion Zimbabwe dollars. So it lost its portability, and it actually has lost so much value to where it's just not worth transacting anymore. And that's what's going on with the American dollar. We're seeing this happen around the world. And again, like I said, people have not been asking simple questions. What is money? How does money create value? What gives it value? And what is it to make it have no value? So these are the things we teach in the Family Cash Machine. And some people may be out there and say, well, I don't need to know what give money value. Yes, you do. Because what's going to happen if you have $100,000 in the bank, your life savings, and then let's say stock market crashes. Let's say that 50 different countries just decide we're not going to use US dollars anymore to purchase oil. Okay, we're not going to use US dollars anymore to trade with one another. We're going to use something different. We're going to accept each other's currencies, or we're going to back our currencies by gold. Now we don't need US dollars as the anchor currency. What's going to happen? It's going to overnight shift value, and banks are going to lock up on your money because they don't know where it's going to drop. They don't know exactly the value of your dollars in the bank. So they may stop for 2 or 3 days until they find out where the bottom is. So this happened in India. This is what happened in India. They closed all the banks for almost a week, and people could not withdraw because banks didn't know the value of the currency that you had to withdraw. Could you imagine being in that situation? In America, we don't think that's possible. But it actually happened here in the 1930s. It happened here in the Great Depression. It happened here, and I think Roosevelt confiscated all the gold in this country. So, I don't know if I want gold even, because if the government at any time through an executive order can confiscate my gold, that's not good either. So cryptocurrencies is a digital, anonymous product that holds value and you have complete control over, and you don't have to disclose who you are. And it's pretty much an invisible way of storing your value. Wow. It's an invisible way that you control, but you don't have to disclose your name, your social, but you control it. So who cares if your name is on it or not on it? I control it. My value is secure because no one knows where my value is. No one knows when I send it, when I receive it. It gives me privacy. And this was the whole reason why cryptocurrency was created. And in my mind, privacy itself is valuable in a world of surveillance, in a world of super technology that monitors everyone. Privacy to me is worth its weight in gold. To be private, to have wealth privately, to be able to walk in the store and I'm a multimillionaire and nobody knows. To me, that's valuable. That's valuable beyond measure. To be able to somewhat disguise my wealth and only I know what I'm worth. Wow. There's no Forbes, there's no net worth that can be pulled up on me, but I know that I approximately have about $6 million in Bitcoins and soon to be 12 million, 50 million, 100 million, because the price of Bitcoin will continue to go up as time goes on, because it is a stored unit of value, which is the characteristic that fiat currency has lost. The paper money does not have a stored unit of value, which is in the criteria of money. Now, like I said, gold has a stored unit of value, but gold can be confiscated from you in the event of a crisis in a country. Most governments have the right to confiscate your gold. So you have to be very secretive about it, but the physical characteristic of gold doesn't allow you to hide it. I mean, how are you going to move, 10 million of gold and do that with discretion? You can do it. You can possibly put it in, bags and try to, sneak it out. But if somebody finds it, if an authority finds you, trying to transport it, they can confiscate it. They can't do that with cryptocurrency. And as long as you remember your 12-word phrase to your wallet, even if you lose your phone, your computer gets burned up, if you have your 12-word phrase remembered or written down somewhere or stored into a cloud or something, you can always retrieve your value no matter where you're at in the world. And people in America don't see where that's something that's valuable. They're like, oh, well, if I lose it, I can get another computer, I can do this. But individuals in China are only allowed to leave their country with $50,000. So if they're a multimillionaire and they want to say, you know what, I give up my Chinese citizenship and I want to move to another country, fine. But you only leave with $50,000. So for an individual in that particular environment, okay, I'll leave with $50,000 and I'll make sure the rest of it is in Bitcoins. So when I go to the next country, I can retrieve my value with my 12-digit or 12-word phrase. I can retrieve my wealth anywhere in the world. So that feature has a very valuable function, you know, for certain people in certain governments that are somewhat suppressive and somewhat controlling and mandating certain regulations that we don't have here in this country. This country is a little different. But in this country, again, like I said, in the event I did a $50 million transaction, then half of those funds are taxed immediately. So it would be nice to have some privacy with some of the value that I possess, because I don't care what any government tells you, everything you make in your life, from your intelligence, from your hard work, your sweat, from your brow, from your pain, from your suffering, everything that you make from the risk that you take is not, to me, anybody's business. Everything is not everyone's business, okay? And you can't tell me that banks or governments have the right to benefit with you every time you benefit. And if you guys feel that way, that every time you benefit, that a bank or a financial institution or a government should benefit, you should pay the government for your brilliance. You should pay a government for your hard work and your risk taking and your ability to take chances or losses. Most people don't make businesses work without losses first. So why am I only sharing with you my gains, but we're not partners with the losses? See, I got a problem with that, because to me, whenever I give somebody 40, 50% of my hard-earned income, that indicates we're business partners. That's what that would indicate to me. So if we're business partners, then business partners also share with you in the risk that you undergo in the pursuit of an income advancement, okay? And most, like I said, most instances, there are several losses before the success of a business. So if we're gonna be business partners, we need to be partners in all of it, not just when I win. So cryptocurrency is a revolutionary economic advancement that was actually created before the internet, because it all stems from encryption. It all stems from a technology that provides privacy in its transactional and in its functionality. So, and the reason being is because we've been taught so many years that we have to, every time we do a transaction, give our name. Every time we do anything of value that's transacted, we have to use our social and all of these things. And if you read the Social Security Administration right now, and the purpose in 1939 of a Social Security, the purpose was to track your income. Now, why are you tracking? You're tracking so you can deduct. That's why you're tracking. But I'm not an advocate of not paying taxes. I'm not telling people don't pay any taxes. I'm just saying that everything I make is not everybody's damn business. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that we have a right, a human right, and we also have a constitutional right to pay taxes or not pay taxes. We also have a constitutional right to have representation with what we're being taxed for, okay? And this is what the Revolutionary War was behind, because they were paying tax to Britain, but they had no representation in the British Parliament. So when we have a president that goes out and bombs Syria without the permission of Syria, of the American public, without the permission of the House of Representatives, without the permission of this Senate, and just solely bombs a country with no permission from the people that he's supposed to represent, that's a problem. That's a problem. Because my taxpaying dollars went to bomb Syria because you said that Syria is using chemicals. I think you said the same thing about Iraq. You said they had weapons of mass destruction, and we went in there and murdered and killed and bombed Baghdad to find no weapons of mass destruction. I think they said there was anthrax there, and we went in, bombed and murdered and pillaged to find no anthrax. So I can't take your word for it. I have to have evidence and proof. And they tried to give us evidence with some kids being, they had a little stage of this little, warehouse where people was being rinsed down from chemicals and stuff like that. And again, that still needs to be voted on. This is just a democracy. It's still a democracy. It's not a dictatorship, Mr. Trump. It's not a dictatorship. So how dare you, by yourself, go and bomb a country with billions of dollars of material that my taxpayer money paid for? That's why I choose not to share all of my income with you guys, because I need to be somewhat in control of what my taxpayers' dollars are going to pay for and what it's not going to pay for. That's what this is about, you guys. This is not just about making money. This is about us being more in control and to be more at liberty to choose and not allow everybody to just choose for us. Oh, we're going to take your money and we're going to do this with it. Huh? We're going to take all your money and we're going to do that with it. And you don't have any choice. We don't even need your vote. That's not a democracy. But that's what we have today, because people don't care. People are not, they're not engaged in government. They're not studying what's going on. They're just, oh, whatever, it's our government. They're going to do what they want to do. And whenever power goes unchecked, then power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So the cryptocurrency space is not just a space about money. It's about change. It's about liberty. It's about freedom. It's about democracy. And it's more about the distribution of wealth more equally versus just corporations and governments and small groups of people manipulating all the streams of income through licensings, fees, taxes, and quote unquote good old boy fraternities. And with cryptocurrency, we shatter all of those barriers that have kept so many people down for years. People are being kept down because of all of these different invisible walls. And it's really hard to explain these invisible walls to a lot of other ethnic people, but my people, they definitely see these walls very visibly. When you try to evolve or advance in certain fields or areas, those walls make themselves very present. And so with cryptocurrency being decentralized and being a technology that has the ability to spread wealth, and we're going to get more deep into that. If you guys take the Family Cash Machine cryptocurrency courses, you'll learn more about what we're talking about. I don't want to go too deep into that because there is a evolutionary phase and incremental stage of knowledge that you're going to have to get to understand this, because most of us for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of our life have been trained a certain way about money, trained a certain way about transactions, trained a certain way about how value is created, and it's all wrong. It's not wrong. It's right in accord to the way they want you to think, but it's not accurate in accord to the way it could be. So I wanted to really say that we are an organization that's empowering people by first giving them information, knowledge, education of freedom. And I'm realizing that the course, the foundation of the people who created encryption were very, very, I'm not going to say radical, but they were very strong in their beliefs of more freedoms to people and not using technology as a vehicle to restrict people. And that's exactly what we have today going on with this technology. They're using technology to keep you in check and to keep you guys from evolving and advancing economically. And it's a shame because we just kind of lost sight of it, and we're just letting these certain regulations take place. Again, I'm realizing that not only did Donald Trump do that, but the Prime Minister of France did the same thing. He didn't consult with his parliament. He didn't consult with the French people. He didn't consult with any of the delegates, senators. He made the decision by himself to bomb. But that's not his money that he used to bomb Syria. Same thing with Britain. Same thing with Britain. The prime minister there in Britain, same thing. He didn't go through Congress or Parliament. They have Parliament there. He didn't go through any of the chain of commands that are the representatives of taxpayers. Britain, America, Donald Trump, and France, all those leaders from those countries, they, by themselves, decided to spend taxpayers' monies on what they wanted to do. And this kind of stuff got to stop. This kind of stuff has to stop because it's an abuse of your tax-paying money. Now, remember, taxes is just taken from you. You don't have a choice. They just take it from you because they know everything you make because you're using your social, your tracking number, your income tracking number, everything you do. So a group of individuals decided that that was unconstitutional. And they realized that because this has been going on for hundreds of years, they were not going to be able to, with a gun or revolutionarily wise, stop that. They realized that people were so conditioned mentally to just being exploited that they were not going to be able to change that. They realized that they couldn't educate people quick enough to stop the powerful systems of central banks and financial institutions from exploiting people and governments. So they created privacy, encryption through technology. Wow. So now, without even understanding the gamut of politics and social political things around the world, you have a technology you can use that will give you some privacy and will allow you to transact with whoever, wherever, however, within God's speed in seconds. Bam! I can send 100,000 right now to the gentleman on this call from Dominican while we're on the phone and nobody even know it. And I don't even need his name. I don't even need his social. I don't even need his driver's license. That is powerful because the ability to transact money is probably the most powerful transaction that we as human beings could do, with the exception of transacting information. Transacting information is the most powerful transaction that we can make, okay? And the second powerful is value, whether it be gold, whether it be money, whether it be real estate. Now, when I was watching a disturbing video on, I want to say, Brazil, you know, I'm looking at different places around the world to travel and to do business, because one of the problems that we have here in America, and I don't know why I keep getting this message, because I paid these people a bunch of money for quite a few months and I'm still getting this dang on message. So anyway, one of the things that I realized, and I didn't know this, and I don't know if it's like this in Dominican, maybe so, I've heard some stories that people need to know who they're dealing with. You have to find reliable real estate agents. I'm a real estate appraiser. I haven't done real estate appraising in quite a while, but I did it for 16 years. It's in my blood. And I made a lot of money in real estate. I love real estate. But real estate needs a revamp because the title, the entitlements, and the transactions that you go through, in a lot of countries, they don't have escrow. In America, we have an escrow, we have title companies and stuff like that. And even in America, I've seen some scam deals go down because somebody knows somebody in an escrow company and stuff like that. They got some fake documents. They didn't forge some stuff or whatever. So that still goes down. So in Brazil, where you sit down with the attorneys and you sit down with the property owner, quote unquote property owner, you don't know if this title is clean. There's no way you can really find out. You're really taking the word of the owner. So 70% of the transactions that go down in Brazil, there's a clouded title. That has to be annoying because you buy this property to think you own the property and then come to find out you don't own the property or somebody has a lien on the property. And this is very common in a lot of countries, and with the exception of the United States. And even in the United States, like I said, that happens. I was listening to a story where Les Brown said he bought his mama a house, and he finally bought his mama a house, but he didn't do a title search. And I think a little while after living in the house, they lost the house to a lien that they had. But if he'd have did his due diligence, then it wouldn't have happened. So again, with blockchain technology, wow, with this ledger, this distributed ledger and smart contracts, which is all a part of cryptocurrencies, this stuff can't happen because the contracts are transparent and the titles could be digitized, wow, and tokenized and digitized into a transparent ledger that anyone and everyone could validate and see. Now, you may not be able to see who owns the property, but you can see clear titles. You can see the ownership is clean. You can see the transaction from point A to point B. Wow. And this can happen in seconds without any backlash and without any one coming back 3-4 years later saying, hey, that's my property and you didn't get it clean. The guy that sold it to you didn't own it fully. This is a problem around 70% of the world has this problem with real estate. Now, with this new technological advance called smart contracts and cryptocurrencies and digital exchanges, all of that could be remedied. And the middleman, attorneys who charge an exorbitant amount of money anywhere in the world, title companies, real estate agents, a lot of them can be alleviated. Wow. And now buyers and sellers can deal directly with one another through direct transactions, through decentralization, and a title anonymously and autonomously could be distributed with smart contracts. And now Bitcoin Armani could buy a property in Paris in 30 minutes without going through escrow or without even seeing the property. Maybe 15 minutes. The entire transaction can be done and he'll have his title digitally on the blockchain. Wow. Game changer. So this is not just about money. This is about assets. This is about transactions. This is about corruption. This is all about alleviating as much corruption as we can. This is about not trusting anyone in business. Business shouldn't be based on trust. Business should be based on verification, documentation, and validation. And that's what cryptocurrency is providing now, to where we don't have to trust a third party. We trust the transaction. It's either a good transaction or a bad transaction. The transaction either goes through or don't go through. And if it goes through, we know it's a good transaction because any and everyone, anytime around the world could validate it can see the transaction. Even though you may not ever be able to see the name, who cares about the names? We can see it's a clean transaction. You know that's your deal. The person who sold it knows that's their deal. The person that bought it knows that's their deal. So once you see that deal, that blockchain number, you can validate, bam, transaction went through, clean. Then you possessing your private keys, you can retrieve that, and they can't. They can see it on the public keys, but they can't access the title now because it's been transferred to you digitally. Wow, this is amazing. This is an amazing, amazing breakthrough. And it's for the people, by the people, of the people, more so than any other technological thing that has ever happened in the history of the world. And that's why I say what I say. One of the greatest exchanges of wealth is going to happen ever in the history of the world. Okay? Now, we're going to talk briefly. I got 3 minutes left, and then my time is out. I might have to reboot up. But if we get cut off, you guys come back on the call. But I'm going to wrap this up quickly. I want to let the public know that this is more than just about money. This is about the internet of money, and everything of value could now be more controlled by individuals and not corporations, not companies, not third-party financial institutions, brokers. All of that stuff is going to be alleviated unless you like being exploited, and it's your choice. If you want to give up fees because you think it's better for somebody to control your deal and control your money before you get the money and take their cut out before you get yours, if that's what you like, then hey, be my guest. But if you want to cut that person out and deal directly with the source and have the digital technology to verify and validate everything for everyone, that everyone can actually see everything and you don't have to trust a third party to transact, and it's cheaper and faster, then come to the Family Cash Machine and learn about this technology, which will put more money in your pocket, save you money, and in fact, maybe you may learn how to invest in this technology to make money as this thing grows, and people start realizing, oh my God, I need this. This is benefiting me. And when people realize that, guess what's going to happen? Prices of cryptocurrency is going to go through the roof because all these different functionalities of cryptocurrencies will be used by the public. And all the people in the Family Cash Machine will be in positions to capitalize off of that wave. And that's what this is about right now. We're here to create generational wealth. We're not just here to talk about freedom and talk about money. We're here to position ourselves to get ready and prepare for one of the greatest exchanges of wealth and to be on the receiving end of that exchange as things are being disrupted. And that's what the Family Cash Machine is about. I love to talk to you guys about this technology because I'm just so elated that I'm living in this day and time. It's one of the worst times to live in ever in the history of the world, but it's also one of the greatest times to live in. And the reason I say it's one of the worst times because systems and governments and currencies are colliding. They're failing people, and people don't know what to do. And there's a lot of people that are losing homes and losing their marriages and losing their mind because they don't know what to do. But it's also a time of new beginnings. Wow. But you just got to be willing to change how you think. And so with that, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. This is Eric Vaughn, the Family Cash Machine. And I only got 1 minute left for those viewers out there. Go to thefamilycashmachine.net, sign up for free member, and we'll see you guys on the next call. So Family Cash Machine, you guys come back in after I tune out right here. Okay, peace.